Hey everyone, the 30th anniversary celebrations have begun on eFootball. We've got a bunch of new things in the game today. So we've got some new packs, we've got a new AI mode, we've got a campaign where you can do some objectives to get some free spins on some packs. There's also some new packs. There's a kit, which is also a pack. Yeah, so let's have a look. We've got this nostalgia campaign, so the usual kind of stuff. There is a legend pack. It's just a standard legend pack with some cool retro card designs. You get a free spin as a login present on that, and the campaign and all the other kind of free spins are going towards this 30th anniversary pack, but we don't know what else is in there. We know these 3 big time cards are in there, but yeah, we're not allowed to even look at the pack yet. It's not starting until July 10th, so we don't know how many players in total, how many legends. Time will tell. And then you get some pictures, of course, some trainers and things like that. Looks like something's going on with the penalty game. We'll check that in a moment. And this other nostalgia thing, that's just the pack. Like I say, it's just a standard 150 legend pack, but they've got cool card designs. If you look at the actual cards, it's just a standard legend, but the card design's pretty cool. As I mentioned at the start, there is an AI mode. I'll try that out on stream later on. So we go to events. And it's in AI, and it's called Time Leap Trials. So yeah, I'll have a try that on stream later on. All the other events are looking pretty bog standard. What else are we looking at? Let's just go to the packs, because I think everything else is in packs really. Where are we? Contract. So yeah, like as I mentioned in packs, there was a kit. So yeah, as usual, I don't know why they put it in packs. I mean, I do know why. You know, it's just a kit. You go and look at the content of the pack. It's just a kit, so it's not a pack. It's just a kit. But if you put the kit in packs and pretend it's a pack, you can sell it as a pack. And if you sell it as a pack, that means they get some coins, and that's what the anniversary is all about. Yeah, happy anniversary, Konami. But yeah, apart from that, I think just about everything else is in here. So we got the legend pack that I mentioned already. Some Showtime nonsense. There's Player of the Week. I'm going to review that in this video. As I mentioned, this is the not started yet pack, so 10th of July that'll open. Like I say, we don't know how many players in total, we don't know how many legends in total, we don't know if there's going to be any kind of selection contract. It doesn't look like there's no sign of it as yet. I was hoping there would be some kind of selection contract down, but time will tell. It's 2 weeks before we can even look at the pack yet, so they've got time to add other things. So maybe we'll get a selection contract, maybe there'll be more than just those 3 big time cards in there. Time will tell. But yeah, we've got some objectives to get our spins lined up for that in advance. And like I say, I'm going to look at this Player of the Week pack in this video. So, as always, I will put timestamps in the description for all these players. So if you want to hear about a particular player in this pack, click on the description and that'll be a link to take you straight to them. They've generously given us 2 4-stars this time. Who should we start with? Decisions. We'll start with this dude. So we'll start with Juan Pablo Freytes. So a lot of people have been clamoring for a Player of the Week card from Fluminense. Everyone wanted the quick, nimble, skillful winger John Arias. So obviously they gave us a 4-star extra front and centre back with a fake face. Yay! So yeah, Freytes, first time I've had a feature version of him. He's only a 4-star. He's only 5'11". His stats aren't particularly amazing. He's not got man marking. Yeah, this is a bad card. Thanks, Konami. Why not just give us Arias? Why? Everyone wanted Arias, nobody wanted this. But anyways, yeah, pretty standard boost from his GP card for a trending centre back. Pace, jumping, stamina, a bit down the left column. Not a lot going on down the middle. He's not bad defensively. We could do with a bit more near awareness and engagement. Decent pace for centre back. The aerial and physical strength are a little bit iffy for me. Like I say, man marking is missing there. They've added a bunch of skills. He's already got long throw and fighting spirit. Possibly aerial superiority, but eFootball was playing up with that. I'm not sure if he's already got that, but looks like they're throwing in interception and blocker at least. Maybe he's on to others, but yeah, no man marking. So he's missing an important skill. His defenses could be a bit higher, could do with a bit more aerial and physical strength, especially since he's not the tallest. Extra front man's not for everyone. There's no way you could play him as a left back. He's not quick enough or good enough down the left hand side. Yeah, this isn't a great card, to be honest. It's a big disappointment in itself, but especially since most people who watched Fluminense over the past week wanted Arias and we didn't get him. So yeah, not a brilliant card. It's not a disastrous card for the Brazilian League Challenge. If you still get to do that, it could be useful. Like I say, man marking is a big miss from his skills, and some of these stats could be a bit higher. It's not disastrously bad, but yeah, just a little bit disappointing, and especially since everyone wanted Arias and this isn't Arias, and it's not a great card really. Let's move on to the other 4-star next. We've got Valentín Carboni. He's an Inter Milan youngster. He's got a face scan. He's a whole player. It's his normal playing style. They put his weak foot accuracy up by 1. They've nerfed him on the ball because he's an attacking player, of course. The rest of the left column has been boosted, though. Of course, they boosted him defensively because he's an attacking player. The right column's had a bit of a nice enough boost as well. Yeah, he's had a decent boost, this guy. Skill-wise as well. His GP card, I think, has long-range shooting, dipping shot, outside curler and track back, and everything else here is new. So we've got some nice skills here. Through passing, first-time shot. Solskjaer's a nice one. He's a super sub. Yeah, it's not too bad for a 4-star, but it's a 4-star. You know, the passing for some people will be okay. A lot of players and midfielders in Player of the Week have been getting about 85 for low pass recently. And in Player Season packs as well. On the ball, he's all right. Attacking awareness is okay. Finishing's not brilliant. It's not the quickest, but it could be slower. Not great for balance. He's got a bit of physical strength, though. Stamina's not great for a whole player. Yeah, it's an all right card. It's not a terrible one for the Italian League Challenge. Could be a handy one. Could do a job for you. I'm not sure it'd be great wide right. You could do with a bit more pace and balance there, I think. As an attacking mid, yeah, he could be okay. He's got through passing. Maybe he could do with one touch pass on top, but yeah, he's got a couple of shooting skills as well. He's a super sub, so yeah, could be a handy one for the Italian League Challenge. But beyond that, nothing here that's particularly great. It is a 4-star card, of course. First time I've had a version of me. He is only a youngster, so I couldn't expect a particularly amazing card of his. But it's not a brilliant card. Just could be a useful one, especially for that Italian League Challenge. Just if he gets form in any given week, it could do a job for you. But it's not a brilliant card, this. And next we got Barreiro from Benfica. So this guy does not have a face scan. He's a box-to-box DMF. He's normally a box-to-box. He's had a previous Player of the Week card that was a whole player, actually, and wasn't quite as good as this card. He's also had a highlight card from some kind of legend box that wasn't quite as good as this one. Not a massive difference, though. But yeah, this is ultimately the best version of this guy so far. They boosted his attacking awareness, his dribbling and his finishing down the left-hand side. His defenses were up a little bit, especially his tackling and awareness. Boosted his pace, his physical and aerial strength, his balance. Lost a few points off kicking power and stamina. You can afford that on the stamina. Kicking power is a bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. So yeah, on the whole, decent enough boost. Again, another midfielder in one of these trending packs with only 85 low pass. He does have one touch and through, though. They've added through passing. They've added first-time shot as well. We've lost low lofted pass, bit of a shame. But we've got a pretty good section of skills on the whole here for a box-to-box. But soul control's a nice one there. One touch and through, very important. Interception likewise. Fighting spirit. So a pretty solid set of skills for a box-to-box centre mid. But it's not an amazing one. Low pass, like I always say, 85 low pass, even with one touch and through. It's a bit iffy for me. I'd like it to be a bit higher. It's not bad. It's just not particularly great. He's decent enough on the ball. Not amazing, but decent enough. Attacking awareness is not brilliant. Defensive awareness is kind of okay. It's a shame you're not going to quite hit the 80 mark, but you're close enough to it. It could be worse there. He's very much an all-rounder, this guy. The other defensive attributes are pretty strong. Down the right here, everything's just about all right, really pretty decent. So, yeah, it could be a handy one, but there's no league challenge you can use a Benfica player in. Is he going to get in your main squad? Do you ever rock a Luxembourg squad in the national team challenge? Probably not. So, yeah, I don't imagine this will be the most valuable player for a lot of people, but it's certainly not a bad one. It's one where he's kind of decent in a lot of areas, just not really amazing at anything, but certainly there's no major weakness there, just a few attributes I'd like to be a bit higher. And the skill set's pretty solid. So yeah, as a DMF, probably not quite got the defensive awareness as much as anything, or the physical strength to be a proper DMF. Attacking mid, lacking awareness and finishing, but as an all-rounder as a centre mid, maybe in a double pivot as a DMF as well. Could be a solid card, bit of an all-rounder, could do a job for you, but again, it's just not the most exciting card really. Next we have our first ever feature version of Paulo Díaz from River Plate. Chilean centre back. He's a build up and he's short. That is, what is that, about 5'9", something like that. This guy is not tall. His jumping 85 is not brilliant. He does have aerial superiority, but yeah, the big concern with this guy is that he's not big. He's got there's a real lack of vertical reach on him, and he's not the strongest physically either. So he's not going to be strong aerially. He's not quite strong enough for me physically as a centre back. The defensive attributes down the middle are okay. Down the left, not too bad. Certainly got some pretty nice passing attributes for a centre back. Pretty nice pace for a centre back. Balance as well, stamina. But yeah, if you're lacking a bit physically and aerially and you're not that amazing defensively, you're not going to get in my team as a centre back. So yeah, this card for me is not looking great. I mean, he's had a boost mainly down the right and left columns, a pretty standard trending centre back boost. Massive boost on his jumping, but he desperately needed that. The defense is just kind of shuffled around a bit. So yeah, pretty standard trending centre-back boost. And then skill-wise, looks like everything's new except acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit. Again, I'm not sure about the aerial superiority, whether he's already got that. eFootball was playing up with 1 or 2 skills, but yeah, we got a pretty good section of skills there, heading and aerial, and then we've got man marking, section blocker, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit. Don't think he's lacking much. Maybe sliding tackle, could do with maybe 1 or 2 passing skills, but he's got decent passing attributes for a centre back. So yeah, there is plenty to be said for this guy at first glance, but the reality is that being as short as he is, lacking as he is in vertical reach and physical strength, and just not being that amazing defensively, it's not a terrible card, but for me it's a bit of a dud, because I just would never play a centre back who's lacking physically and aerially like this guy unless he's amazing elsewhere, which he's not. So yeah, he is pretty nice with his passing, with his pace. There are qualities, he's got most of the skills he needs, but I just don't want a short, weak centre-back, I'm afraid. And in terms of his other position, right-back, is he quick enough? Probably not. Is he good enough on the ball? Probably not, but for some people, maybe. So he could, if you're desperate, could maybe be a defensive right-back for you, but either way, this guy doesn't look great to me. And on top of that, there's no league challenge to use him in either. So yeah, maybe if you've got a Chile squad, you could use him in the national challenge, but ultimately for me, a short, weak centre back. I might sound harsh saying that, because he does have qualities. You know, the pace and passing are good for a centre back. Most of the skills he needs, but yeah, where he's a little bit lacking are very, very important areas for a centre back. So for me, this card's a bit of a dud. And from Palmeiras, we now have José López. So this guy's got a face scan. He's a goal poacher. So this guy is normally a target man. We've had a Player of the Month version of José López. There was a fox in the box. It's pretty similar to this one overall. I've got that Player of the Month card, and I really like it. He's an absolute monster in the air. This version has been shuffled around a bit, so this time around he's not such a beast in the air, but he's a bit better on the ball compared to that Player of the Month card. So shuffled around a bit, different playing style, like I say. And also it's hard to compare the skills to that Player of the Month card, because not all the skills on that Player of the Month card are showing up on eFootball Hub. But yeah, it's a solid version of José López, and like I say, he's normally a target man. Goal poacher for me is an upgrade. I don't like the target man playing style, but that's just my preference. They have boosted him on the ball. They boost his passing, his heading is up a bit as well. We've lost 1 point off attacking awareness, but we've gained a point on finishing. How exciting! But they're both 84, which is not brilliant. Decent enough pace. Actually, no, not decent enough paces. I was thinking of him as a fox in a box. He's not a fox in a box anymore. He's a goal poacher now. So that pace is a little bit lacking for me as I got with that goal poacher playing style. Goal poacher is obviously going to be looking to run in behind the defence at every opportunity. So could do with a bit more pace. He's got a bit of strength and aerial abilities. He might not be as much of a monster in the air as his Player of the Month card, but he's still going to be decent in the air because he does have aerial superiority. He's 6'2", so 6'2", heading and aerial there, jumping 85. He will be decent in the air. It's a shame he doesn't have acrobatic finishing. I'm pretty sure his Player of the Month card didn't either. So that is a bit of a miss, but still, we've got some good skills here. What have they added? It looks like, again, I'm trusting eFootball Hub here, but on eFootball Hub it says he's only got heading and first time shot. I have a feeling he's already got aerial superiority as well in this GP card. I might be wrong, but a lot of these skills are new though. I'm pretty sure long range curl, long range shooting are new. Heel trick, super sub. Yeah, that's new. Fighting spirit. So yeah, we've got a good selection of skills. It could be a very interesting super sub to throw on. A goal poacher who's pretty tidy in there. Got some good shooting skills. Like I say, the finishing is not amazing, nor is the attacking awareness. They could have boosted those a bit more. But they have boosted him on the ball and passing. They boosted his defensives quite a bit, obviously, because he's a striker. And then the right column, everything except for balance has had a bit of a boost down the right. The balance, we've lost 3 points because obviously attacking players are always worse at balance, apparently, in Player of the Week packs. But yeah, it's a few strange decisions, annoying decisions, as you often get with these Player of the Week cards. Why do they keep nerfing balance and attacking players? Just stop doing that, please. But yeah, awareness and finishing 84, not brilliant. Pace and a goal poacher, not brilliant, but boosted a bit on the ball with the passing as well. Still decent in the air. As an all-rounder of a striker, could do a job for you. I think he's still got the profile of more of a fox in the box than a goal poacher, to be honest. But as a goal poacher, as a super sub, especially in that Brazilian League Challenge, could be a handy one. But yeah, I think, to be honest, if I'm brutally honest, I'm kind of trying not to be biased here because I really like his Player of the Month card, the fox in the box one. He's got the playing style that suits that I think is the best for strikers, getting on the end of crosses. I've only really used him mainly against the AI, but he's been a beast. He scored I think he's got 15 goals in 10 games against AI for me, something like that. So I've really enjoyed mine. So I'm kind of looking at this card and trying to sort of separate myself from how much I like my version and just look at this version in isolation. And I've got to say this version doesn't look as exciting because I don't think he quite suits that goal poacher playing style. And the awareness and finishing are a bit lacking. So he's got qualities. He is going to be decent in the air. And the skill set's pretty good on the whole. Just a bit of a shame we not acrobatic finishing, but some good skills there. And on the whole, he could be a decent one, could be a handy one, especially for that Brazilian League challenge. But it's by no means a top striker, just because, like I say, the important attributes of awareness and finishing, and arguably the pace as well, could do with being a bit higher, but could still certainly do a job for a lot of people. And next we have a booster. We got Igor Jesus from Botafogo, soon to be joining Nottingham Forest, if rumours are correct. So let's just activate the booster straight away. What do we get? We get a dribbling, speed, kicking power, physical. What's that? Ball carrying, ball protection. Breakthrough. Okay, it's the breakthrough booster apparently. So he's got a face scan, got somewhat cool hair. We had a Showtime version of this guy recently. It's a Brazilian League one. Obviously better than this card, as you'd expect. It's the only other version we had of him. Featured version from his GP card that boosted him on the ball, boosted his passing. They've nerfed his set pieces. Fair enough. We've lost 5 points off balance, obviously. We've gained 1 point on acceleration. Apart from that, though, Right Club's had a pretty nice boost. And, of course, they boosted his defensive ability because he's a centre forward. Skill-wise, it looks like most of these skills are new. So I've got a good selection of skills. I'm not going to do a direct comparison to eFootball Hub because I just don't know how accurate it's being at the moment. We've got heading and aerial, though. Again, we don't have acrobatic finishing, that's a shame. But we've got first time shot, long range curl, long range shooting. One touch pass is a nice one to have. Outside curl is handy as well. Track back, not everyone's cup of tea, but can be a really handy one. Fighting spirit. A lot of good skills there. A lot of good skills. He's a righty. I'm not sure, actually. I've not checked this in eFootball Hub, but I think they used to have him down as a left footer. I might be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought he was a left footer, but then I saw him play recently and he's not. Or at least I don't think he is. Maybe they're wrong again. I don't know. Someone let me know if he's actually right-footed and if they used to think he was right-footed, because I think he might have been left-footed previously on eFootball Hub, or on eFootball, sorry. But yeah, you've got another striker here who, you know, in the important areas could be maybe a little bit lacking. You know, the awareness and finishing 85, you're at least in +3 territory. I mean, with Lopez, if you've got an 89 rated manager, you're in +3 territory. But yeah, 85, you're going to be +3 with an 88 or 89 manager. But I'd still like to be a bit higher on the ball. You know, had a bit of a boost, decent enough for a striker. Passing likewise could be worse. You got one touch pass. Pace, I mean, especially without A form, I think you could do with a little bit more pace on him on a goal poacher. Got a bit of kicking power there, you know, especially on A form. He kind of alright down the right hand side. Just that balance is a little bit on the low side, and they have taken 5 points off that for no logical reason whatsoever. So yeah, we've got qualities with this guy, and it's a similar situation to Jose Lopez. Really, you've got two very decent, usable strikers, but just could be a little bit better in certain areas. I think you're kind of looking at both these strikers really for the Brazilian League Challenge, thinking for that Brazilian League Challenge, if you still get it, could be very tidy options, but in both cases outside of the Brazilian League Challenge, I'd really question whether they're really going to get many people's teams, because they're just not top strikers at all. Got a few attributes that really just could do with being a little bit higher, but certainly with this guy, there's a bit of quality. I'd say on the whole he's a bit better than Jose Lopez. He's not going to be as much of a beast in the air because he's not quite as tall. He's about 8 centimeters shorter, but he's got the aerial skills and he's got a bit of a jump on him, so he'll be okay in the air. This guy, bit of pace, decent on the ball, awareness and finishing, not too bad. So yeah, I'll give this guy the edge over Jose Lopez. I think they're both pretty decent. This guy's a bit better, especially with that boost, and he could be a pretty handy one. Just not the most exciting. He's just not a top striker without a few attributes being a little bit higher. But there's a lot to be said for him. Good skills, some good attributes, especially on A form. So yeah. Brazilian Challenge could be very handy. Outside of that, maybe if you Brazil squad and the national team challenge, could be a handy one. Not an amazing one, but a very decent one. And here's another guy a lot of people were hoping would be in Player of the Week this week. So the good news is we actually got him, unlike Arias. The bad news is that he's been nerfed in exactly the way we thought he would. So he's got a face scan, he's got a booster as well. Let's activate the booster. So is he good on the ball? Yes, but even with the A form boost in effect, he's still been nerfed on the ball from his GP card, which is annoying. But like I say, you are still going to be decent around the 90 mark, or 90 or so for at least ball control and dribbling. Tight possession will go up to 89. Although if you've got an 89 rated manager, it should hit the 90 mark actually. So yeah, we're around about the 90 mark on all three on the ball attributes. So still decent. He's got a low centre of gravity. He will still be very nice on the ball, even though they've nerfed those attributes compared to his GP card, even with the A form boost, which is silly. But Yeah, weaker foot usage has gone up by 1. Is that a good thing with his weaker foot accuracy not being too high? I don't think so. They've added left wing forward as a position he's normally attacking mid, so we've got left wing forward fully proficient now. We've also got left midfield semi-proficient, even though you can't position train these cards. Hooray! We've got 3 points in attacking awareness. They've added 2 to finishing. They boosted his set pieces. They boosted his defensive ability, of course, because he's an attacking player. We've lost 1 point off balance. What's the point of that? The right column has otherwise been boosted though. So yeah, I don't sound negative. I sounded pretty negative at the start because it just does annoy me the way they nerf certain attributes on these cards. But yeah, on the whole, this is actually a pretty tidy version of Echeverri. Yes, he's not as good in the ball as his GP card, even on A form, but he's still pretty good, and they boost him quite a bit elsewhere. It's just going to be a question of where you're going to use this guy. Let's just quickly look at his skills before we go back to the attributes. So we've gained long range shooting and first time shot. We've already got long range curler. We've got soul control, one touch pass, 3 passing outside card. We've got a really nice selection of skills here. The question is though, when we go back to the attributes here, where you're going to play him, because in his normal position of attacking midfield, even on A form, his low pass only goes to 81. That's not high enough. You know, if you feel you can get away with that, good for you, because he's got qualities elsewhere. But 81 low pass for me, even with 1 touch and through, he is not going to get my team as an attacking midfielder. You've got to be able to pass the ball better, and he's not strong physically either. So in the middle of the park, for me, is a no-no. But if you're going to play him in his new position that they've added on this card, he's got a bit of pace about him, got great balance and on-the-ball attributes. The passing when you play him out wide is suddenly much less of an issue. The awareness and finishing are both going to hit 80 with your game plan boost. This can be tidy on the ball, and he's got long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot, and those passing skills. Yeah, I think wide left Echeverri, if you use a wide forward, could be very interesting. The creative playmaker playing style might not be for you. It's not for me, especially on a wide man. But if you're not bothered about that playing style, this guy, I think wide left could be very neat. He's not going to be a top card, you know, elite level. You know, you could do with a bit more speed, maybe. But honestly, you look around at all the attributes on A form, especially. I think wide left, it could be a really neat one. Could be a really fun one to use. English league change could be a really nice option for that. When he's not on A form, you know, he's slightly less exciting. But I still think with that low center of gravity, even when he loses a few points off those on the ball attributes, he's still going to feel pretty nice. So yeah, like I say, at first you're looking at the nerf they've given him to his on the ball attributes compared to his auto allocated GP card, and it's a little bit disappointing. But when you kind of look at it, you step back and look at it on the whole. You look at the boost elsewhere, and the fact that he's still pretty nice on the ball, especially on A form. I think it's a pretty tidy card, and I'll be pretty pleased if I get this one. I think, especially for that English league change, but just in general, he could be one of these cards that feels pretty fun on the ball, and he could be a pretty nice one to have for a lot of people. And this could also be a nice one for a lot of people. So we've got another Yıldız card. We've had quite a few at this point. He's an attack midfielder again this time. I think he's been an attack midfielder at least once before on Player of the Week. Normally an SS, got his usual playing style hole player. They've made him semi-proficient at centre midfield. That's really useful, even though you can't make him fully proficient on these cards, so it's not useful at all. They must have some automated process where whenever they add a new position, it automatically makes the position next to it semi-proficient or something, but it does still seem a bit silly. But yeah, he's an attack midfielder though this time. It's the best Player of the Week version we've had of Yıldız. He's got a face gun, of course, got that a while ago, and he's got a booster. Let's guess the booster. Ball control, finishing, kicking power, physical. That's shooting, isn't it? Yeah, shooting got it this time. So we've got the shooting booster when he gets on A form, and yeah, like I say, we've had a few tidy Player of the Week cards. There's at least 1 or 2 that are pretty close to this, to be honest. Not a massive difference, but this for me overall is just about the best Player of the Week version we've had. I've had a Showtime version of him. I don't know exactly how good that Showtime card was. It was in a Turkey exclusive pack, but I'm guessing it's better than this one. Apart from that though, it looks better than any of his highlight cards, and just about better than his Player of the Week cards. So this is a very nice version of Yıldız. On the ball, stats shuffled around a bit worse at dribbling, but on the whole, around about the same in terms of his overall kind of technicals here on the ball. Passing and finishing when boosted. Speed is up a bit, acceleration is down a bit. Kicking power's up, physical and aerial strength, stamina, all boosted a bit. And you guessed it, we've lost a couple of points off balance. Why? Who knows? But yeah, on the whole, pretty nice boost and a very nice version of Yıldız this. What's happening skill-wise? What's happening is we've lost scissors feint, dipping shot, and acrobatic finishing. That's a bit of a shame. We've gained double touch, long range shooting. We've already got long range curler as well, and first time shot. Oh no, they've added first time shot. That's a new one. And outside curler. Nice. He's still a super sub as well. You got pinpoint crossing, through passing. Got a pretty good section of skills on this guy. It can be another one like with Echeverri though. Where are you going to use him? You're going to play him as an attacking mid. You know, your low pass is a bit better this time, but is 83 high enough? He's got through passing, doesn't have one touch pass. I don't know. I always say, you know, I want at least mid 80s on low pass. I like it to be a bit higher even. So that for me is a bit iffy. I wouldn't personally look at this guy as an attacking mid. As a centre forward, awareness and finishing both 82, is that high enough? I mean, he's fantastic elsewhere for a striker, but again, I don't think it was actually quite high enough for a striker. Won't have an active playing style as well, which might put some people off. But as an SS or as a wide left forward, I always say this, on a card like this, you can play him as a wide left forward. He won't have an active playing style. It's a whole player's not active left wing forward, but why not just play him as an SS wide left? I think that's what I would personally do. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care for that left wing forward position. If I'm going to play him in that position, I'll set him to an SS. I'll have that whole player playing style active. I'd prefer that. I don't think it makes a massive difference, but it's nice to have that playing style active whole player. So yeah, as an SS or wide forward, you're playing just behind the attack or just off the attack to the left. I think he could be pretty handy. You know, he's got some decent pace there, a little bit of balance, a little bit of physical strength. Pretty tidy on the ball, especially on A form. Awareness and finishing are good. Passing is very, very decent for a wide man, and his skill set for a wide forward. Long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot. He's got through passing. Super sub, especially as a super sub, could be very handy. For the Italian League Challenge, you can use him in that. Could be a very nice option for that. I think this is a very nice card. It's a shame that they've taken a couple of points off his dribbling. It could be a little bit better on the ball, but honestly, he's still pretty good. He's still got the pace. Balance could be higher, obviously. I've nerfed that a bit, but it's still in the 80s at least. And he's got some own product on this guy. So yeah, this is a nice card. You could get away with him as an attacking mid or even a striker if you're okay with certain attributes not being a bit higher. But I think just off the attack, either centrally or to the left, look at the attributes and the skills. This is a very tidy card. So it's one of the best versions of Yıldız that we've had so far. And I imagine a lot of people will be very happy if they get this card. And Pablo Barrios is next. He scored a very nice goal. So another booster. He's got a face scan as well. We'll activate that booster. Attacking awareness, defensive awareness, acceleration, stamina. I'm sure I saw a legend with this one, but I forget what it's called. Balancer. Yeah, there we go. We've got the Balancer booster. Cool. So he's still a box-to-box like he normally is, but they've made him a left midfielder and then made him semi-proficient left wing forward, even though you can't position train him. Yawn. But yeah, you got left midfield where you can play him, and box-to-box will still be an active playing style there. But of course, you can still play him as a centre midfielder in normal position. He's had a previous Player of the Week card that was very similar. Obviously, didn't have left midfield, that one, but as a centre mid, very similar to this one on the whole. We've had a highlight from some kind of legend box. Went to about the same level overall, but stats are shuffled around. And as you often find with a kind of midfielder like this, the passing is better on auto allocation if you've got that highlight card. A bit better on the ball as well, and you can train it. So yeah, pros and cons, but pretty similar on the whole to this one. Compared to his GP card, we lost the point of ball control. Gained a point on tight possession though. Is that really worth it? Not sure. They've nerfed his passing a bit. That is annoying, but they've changed him to a left midfielder, so I am okay with that. As long as he's boosted a bit elsewhere, which he does seem to be. Awareness and finishing have certainly had a bit of a boost, albeit neither of them particularly great still. The right column's had a pretty decent boost, except for his stamina. But the A form boost gives him a boost on stamina. Yeah, that's about it really. What else is going on? So skill-wise, we'll gain long-range curler. Okay, so if you're going to play this guy left midfield as a right footer, long-range curler is a very nice one to have. Long-range shooting as well, first-time shot, of course. So they're going to add all those shooting skills for that, the goal he scored. The only other skill they've added fighting spirit, but that's a good one. So yeah, got a pretty good section of skills on this guy. You could certainly get away with him still as a centre mid. You could do with one touch pass, but he's at least got through passing. He's got interception, two of the most important ones. Got a bunch of shooting skills. Soul control's a nice one. Fighting spirit. So yeah, it's not another one though. Yet another midfielder. There've been quite a few over the past couple of weeks where the low pass is about 85. I'm just not sure that's high enough. But if you think that's high enough, you could certainly still use him as a centre mid. Like I say, one touch pass would be nice, but we've got through passing at least. He's tidy enough on the ball, decent enough defensively. As an all-rounder in the centre of the park, could be decent. Amazing? No. Decent? Absolutely. Left midfield, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Do you want a box-to-box left midfielder? I quite like that playing style on a wide midfielder. It's an interesting one. They obviously get up and down the pitch a lot. They're very mobile. Is he going to be amazing on the ball? Is he going to be great getting forward? I'm not sure. He's going to be decent, but not amazing. He's certainly got some skills, though, going forward. Defensively, he can do a bit of defensive work. It's an interesting card. This it's just a question of whether the profile and the playing style work for you and give you what you want from a left midfielder. I think a lot of people could find this guy to be a very interesting option as a left midfielder. It just depends on your midfield setup and what you want from winger. Because if you want your left wingers to be left-footed and to be whipping some really good crosses in, this ain't your guy, obviously. But if you like an inverted wing out wide and you like him to have a bit of everything, certainly for a left midfielder, he's very decent defensively. And he's not bad going forward. So yeah, he could be an interesting one. Just depends on whether the profile works for you. But you can, like I say, you could use him as a centre midfielder if you're okay with some of these attributes, especially low pass. And you can use him in a Spanish league change. So this is one of these cards where it could be a pretty interesting one for quite a few people. Certainly it could be a very useful one for that Spanish league change as a player you can use in a couple of different ways. So yeah, not an elite card by any means. It's not the most exciting one to me, but I do think it's a pretty interesting one. I do think a fair few people will find this card to be a pretty handy one to pick up. And next we have our first ever featured version of oh, hang on, no, I'm just checking my notes. No, it's our 17,542nd version of Lionel Messi. Excellent. So, it's got a face scan, which has recently been updated. And it's got a booster. What does the booster give us? Oh, of course, it's free kicks because he scored that free kick. Yeah, that makes sense. Where do I start with comparing this Messi to other versions? I think I'm just going to say we've had a lot of versions and this isn't the best, but it's an interesting one because if you look at the Player of the Week version of Messi, I mean, first things first, they've changed his playing style. He's normally a creative playmaker, right wing. They made him an SS deep lying forward this time. And if you do look at his other Player of the Week cards, they all tend to be better on the ball and they tend to have better end product as well. So on that basis, you're thinking, well, that's not a good start. This isn't going to look like a very good Messi card, but they don't tend to have the pace and kicking power this one does. So they, for some reason, they seem to think that 37-year-old Lionel Messi has just suddenly gained loads of pace. Fair enough. But yeah, is he quick? No. Is he quicker than he normally is? Certainly in Player of the Week, hell yeah. So compared to other Messi cards, we've got a bit more pace and kicking power, certainly for a Player of the Week card, which is interesting. Also, not often you get a Messi card that can play right midfield. The only previous Player of the Week one that can is the Inter Miami roaming flank one that was fairly recent. So yeah, compared to other Player of the Week cards, not as good in a bunch of areas, but he's still obviously good in the ball. He's still obviously got pretty decent end product depending where you play him. But we do have more pace and kicking power. If going to compare him to the best versions of Messi, obviously we've had loads of legend cards. There's no point comparing to them. You know those cards are way better. But yeah, compared to highlight versions of Messi and the free ones that we've had, obviously we had different playing styles and different profiles. It's the same kind of story. You know, they tend to come out, certainly on auto allocation, they tend to come out with better on the ball attributes and better end product, at least in terms of either finishing or passing. In some cases, both, I think. Passing, they're not always better, but it depends on the position and it depends on the way it auto allocates. But yeah, it's generally the same story as the Player of the Week cards. They're not quite as good down the left-hand side here as a lot of his highlight cards, but we do have more pace and kick power than he tends to have on those cards. So if you don't have any of the legend versions of Messi, it certainly looks like a slightly different kind of build that we've got in this guy. It's an interesting one. So outside of the attributes, skill-wise, what they've done is they've taken away dipping shot and penalty specialist, and we've gained pinpoint crossing. I don't remember him putting a good crossing, but I guess he did. I was only half watching the game. And outside curler, that's a nice one to have. He doesn't always have that. So we've got one touch and through. If you're going to play him through the middle, very important. Shooting skills, first time shot, long range curler, long range shooting. It's an interesting version of Messi. It's absolutely not one of the better versions. That goes without saying, but depending on what version you have, especially if you don't have any legend versions, then you might have a version of Messi who's got quite as much pace and kicking power as this. The pace especially does make him more usable wide right, but obviously 80 speed still isn't quick. It's just, you know, the more recent Player of the Week cards, he's got about sort of 70 off the speed. I think I've got one where he's got 68 speed. So they have given him a bit more pace there, and it does make him a bit more usable wide right. He's obviously still great on the ball. He's still got amazing attack awareness. The finishing is good. The passing is good for a wide man. So yeah, it depends how you want to use him. He could be usable for your wide right if you don't mind the speed still not being too high. Through the middle, is the passing good enough through the middle as a playmaker? Not sure. I think certainly as a striker, arguably as an SS though, with that deep line forward playing style, active centre forward or SS, could be a very interesting one. You know, I think as a striker or SS with that playing style, the passing is all right. It's still not amazing, but it's all right. He's got one touch and through. But he's got the awareness and the finishing. He's still very nice in the ball. Bit more pace than normal. He's got more kicking power behind his shots as well. He's got long range shooting as well as long range curl on first line shot. So as a deep line forward, you know, just kind of dropping deep from the attack, getting involved in the build up, can pick a pass, can pop a shot off. I don't think it's the worst version of Messi. I mean, objectively, you know, looking at all the stats and everything, it's certainly not one of the better ones. And like I said a few times, if you've got one of the legend versions of Messi, then you're probably not even listening anymore. You've skipped to the next player. But it is an interesting one. It's like a slightly different profile to what he's had in a lot of his highlights and player of the week cards for quite a while now. And depending which version you got, it could be an interesting one to have, but there's no league change you can use them in. And the fact is that most of us by this point have had about 20 versions of Messi. So I think for a lot of people, probably not a particularly interesting one. I don't think many people were clamoring for a Lionel Messi card in player of the week this week, but it is a slightly different profile to a lot of his recent cards outside of his legend cards, which is just straight up better, obviously. So there will be some people I think could find this quite a fun version of Messi, but I think probably the majority of people won't be particularly interested in it. And finally, we got Thibaut Courtois. So up until a while back, we hadn't had a player of the week version of Courtois, but this is the third version we've had of Courtois on player of the week now. So defensive goalie like normal, unwavering form, same skills he normally has, high punt and long throw. And it's a good version of Courtois. Obviously, we've had a Showtime version, which is the best version, but outside of that, it's up there with the better versions. We've had a couple of player of the week cards. To be honest, if you look at the goalie attributes, compare the goalie attributes on this card compared to his other two player of the week cards. If anything, we're maybe a couple higher. We're just slightly higher with the goalie attributes. But interestingly, we've had the jumping and physical contact nerfed a little bit more on this one. So, yeah, I'm not sure how much importance you would put on the jumping and physical contact, but they're a bit lower than his two other player of the week cards. But the goalie attributes ever so slightly higher. But on the whole, very similar to his other two player of the week cards. If you've got one of those two, I would say you don't really need this one. And outside of his Showtime card, if you look at his highlight cards, the best ones are a couple of old ones, one from a Madrid derby pack, one from some kind of La Liga pack with a kind of yellow background, which I've got, some kind of MVP pack, I think, something like that. And also the one from a recent Belgian pack. Those three are the best highlight cards I see of Courtois, and it's pretty similar to them, to be honest. So if you've got any of those cards, I don't think you really need this one. You might have a different version that's not far off this one as well, in which case you might consider you don't need this one. It's kind of in a way just another Courtois card, but it is certainly a good one, and it's certainly one of the best ones we've had. He's obviously a fantastic keeper. You know, the catching might not be amazing, but awareness, parrying, reflexes, reach, all going into the 90s with it when you get your game plan boost. Reach has had a nice boost from his GP card. Not that he needed it because he's massive. So yeah, he's got the reach, the coverage of his goal, the awareness and reflexes. Parrying's fantastic. Catching could be worse, could be better. It's a great goalie card. Like I say, it's another Courtois card, but it is one of the better ones. It is very similar to his best, his two other player of the week cards and the best highlight cards outside of his Showtime cards. So yeah. We all know what you're getting from a Courtois card. He's massive. He's a great goalie. And if you don't have a good version of Courtois already and you get this one, you can be very pleased because you've got a great goalkeeper, especially for the Spanish League change. But just in general, it's a really good goalie card, this. So there's your player of the week pack from this week's Club World Cup. I don't think it's the most exciting, to be honest. There's obviously some good cards in there. Courtois is obviously a fantastic keeper. Messi, most people probably don't want or need it, but there might be some people who find that quite a fun version of Messi. Barrios could be useful. Jesus and Lopez could be handy strikers, especially for the Brazilian League Challenge. Yıldız, very nice card. Echeverri could be a really nice card as well. Diaz, tiny. For me, it's a bit of a dud of a centre-back. Likewise, Freytes, however you say it. Barreiro could be a solid centre-mid, but not the most exciting one. And then Carboni could be a useful one for the Italian League Challenge, but it's not a brilliant card, so... Yeah, on the whole, not too dissimilar to last week's section, to be honest. I'd say if anything, slightly less exciting, but there's certainly a few good cards in there. So, yeah, you could roll on that with a very nice card for your free spin, but whether it's worth spending coins on this pack, I'm not convinced. But as always, it'd be interesting to know you guys' thoughts. So let me know what you think of this pack. Let me know who you got from your free spin. I'm going to hopefully do a stream later today. We'll check out some of the new stuff in the game, do a few spins, maybes. And I do still need to review that National Players pack worldwide, whatever it's called, so I will be doing that at some point. It's one of those packs that just seems to be taking me ages to get it done, but yeah, there will be 1 or 2 videos coming out and 1 or 2 streams as well, so hopefully I'll see you for some of those things. Thank you for watching, as always. Do really appreciate it. I hope you found this useful. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.